opportunity to speak, and we'll hear now from a man, Robert Largan.
Thank you, Mundell. It's always a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. And let me start by paying tribute to the late Sir David Amess and all the work he did to establish the APPG for endometriosis. I'm very grateful to him for his efforts. And like Sir David, I was visited at my constituency surgery by one of my constituents, Maddy Howarth, who has also campaigned tirelessly to raise awareness of endometriosis to ensure that other women do not have to go through the pain that she's endured. Aged just 13, Maddy first began to suffer from severe stomach cramps. By the age of 17, she was visiting A&E practically every month because of the pain she was in and the effects of the drugs she was on to manage it. But still, the condition went undiagnosed. Eventually, after several years had passed, she was referred to a gynaecologist for investigative surgery. And whilst waiting to see a specialist for diagnosis, Maddy was forced to give up her home and her job, being unable to work through the unbearable pain she was in or to access the support she needed. Then, at just the age of just 22, Maddy made the difficult decision to have a hysterectomy to finally stop the pain. I'm pleased to say that her health has since improved, but not all women are so lucky. An inquiry last year by the APPG found that the average wait time from the onset of symptoms to diagnosis was 8 years, and that whilst nearly all of those with the condition felt their mental health had suffered as a result, the vast majority have never received any psychological support. This cannot be allowed to continue. Several years ago, my partner, Beth, was diagnosed with endometriosis, and she's had to suffer intense pain, yet she's still on the waiting list for surgery. Needless to say, this is an issue very close to my heart. We all know of the impact that the pandemic has had on NHS waiting lists. Countless constituents have contacted me about how difficult they found it to access a GP appointment or the repeated delays they've experienced for routine operations. But this experience is one that women with endometriosis have lived through for decades. To stop more women and young girls going through the life-altering pain felt by those like Maddy and Beth. And if we're serious about building a more resilient and preventative healthcare system, then we have to change. This means cutting waiting lists for diagnosis, improving our clinical understanding of the condition, creating a dedicated care pathway, and providing stronger mental health and physical support for those currently living with stage 4 chronic endometriosis. This will not be an easy task, but it is a necessary one. Now is the time for those difficult conversations about how we view and treat women's health and to end once and for all the unacceptable situation where women are left living in fear with unbearable, undiagnosed and untreated pain. We must change that now.
I call Bell Rabira Addy.